Hey folks, Malforian here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Dev Diary 144, Legends and Legions for Crusader Kings 3. As you know, last week with the announcement of Chapter 3, they said this week would be the first of the Dev Diaries covering the content that would be coming in the first core expansion, Legends of the Dead, and it doesn't do that. I'm going to be honest with you guys straight away, this is going to be a really short video today because this Dev Diary does not do that at all. Now, I'm not going to complain about the Dev Diary. Anything that we get is great, and it does give some historical reasoning as to how legends and plagues were seen during the medieval era, about how certain legends were used by kings to kind of inspire ideas for themselves or use to their advantage, and how the general populace of a country could look down on their king if a plague ravaged the lands and it seemed like the king wasn't doing anything about it, or if he seemed to be doing a lot about it, then people would be, thankful of the king and happy about it. And that is a little bit of how the legitimacy system is also going to work into this content, which we knew already. That was covered last week. And if you go into like Steam, the feature breakdown of the DLC covers that as well. And I'm going to be honest, that is basically all this does. There is a quite good meme here, Legends and Epidemics. Always like a good meme on the channel, and a pretty decent one there. I would say so myself. Does cover it quite well. Legends all about greatness. Epidemics, not so much, a bit more dark. And then, as I said, the rest of this is just basically some, I'm going to call it fluff about historical reasons around these two features. It's not really, it's good to read if you're interested. I will leave a link to it in the description down below. And there are a couple of images which are interesting for us. There's obviously this event that we saw last week, so I won't go through that. And then again, showing how these diseases are going to spread on the map, which again, we did see a little bit last week. And as they did mention, they're going to be named around the ruler that rules the area of the map where they start. So this one is King Philippe's flu. And then obviously if you're called King Harold, it would be King Harold's flu or King Harold's dancing disease or whatever the different names are. So it is going to be cool how they're going to like dynamically change as to what your ruler is. I'm guessing they won't change if obviously you die and you play as your son. It will be named after the ruler who started it, I would presume anyway. One bit of information they did show off though is that we are going to get some new graphics for our characters. And for example here with measles, it's going to affect the whole body of your character. I think currently in-game it only affects your face, or your head at least. It doesn't affect anywhere else, so it's going to be pretty cool to see these new models. This is going to be covered in, I think, next week's Dev Diary. They do say later on, we are going to get a breakdown of all the new art and things like that that are coming into the game as well. And then outside of that, they showed off how holy sites are going to look on the map. It looks like from this screenshot, if it's a holy site, the map is going to have, like you can see on this screenshot, like a aura effect, I guess, around the counties that are affected by the holy site. It does say the custody of the holy site legend spreads over Galicia. So I think this is one of these legends that's going to spread out on the map. And I guess because it's a holy legend, maybe it's going to have this like brightening effect on the map where it's taken effect. I'm not 100% sure. We will get a breakdown on this in a future Dev Diary, but it does look like potentially that's what's going to happen. It looks like that from the screenshot anyway. And then they also show off that we're going to be able to build legendary statues. So this is one of the things, again, they mentioned last week, you're going to be able to build these legendary buildings based on your legend. For the statue one, it looks like it's actually going to be on the map, which is awesome. I don't know if you're going to be able to choose how it looks. This is a guy on horseback. Maybe you can pick a design and that's the one it is. If not, I'm sure a mod will do it, but these are actually going to be on the map as well. And as we presumed last week, you can turn a legend into an artifact. So I don't know when you can do this. Again, going to be covered next week. I don't know if you have a legend, if there's just a certain point in which you can press a button and go, this legend, we're going to write it down into a book artifact, and then I can use that artifact on my characters, or I could give it away to somebody if I wanted to. It would be interesting, actually, if you can make a artifact about a legend that isn't under your control. I know it's kind of seems like a minor thing, but if you were near a legend and you wanted to, butter up the ruler that is kind of in control of those lands, if it's about his grandfather or something, it would be cool if you could make an artifact based on that legend and then gift it to him and say, I wrote this book about your grandfather. We all know he's a legend, but I wanted to show you how much I respected him or whatever. And here's this book I made and, like me for a little bit of time. Give me a hook, maybe, something like that. And then, as I said, that is it for the Dev Diary this week. They are saying next week is going to be Legends and Legitimacy. And then the week after is going to be Plagues. And then obviously the week after that is going to be launch, basically. We'll obviously get a Dev Diary that week for the patch notes on launch. And then I guess that might cover achievements as well. I do like seeing the achievements, and especially around Legends and Plague and Legitimacy. I'm sure there's going to be maybe 10 achievements this time round. I imagine there's going to be some around Plagues, you know, maybe fighting them off, maybe create 10 Plagues. I don't know. Who knows what they could be. Let me know what your ideas are for achievements in Legends of the Dead. I'm sure there's going to be some pretty cool ones, and I'm obviously going to be working through those on the channel as well. That's it, guys. That's the whole Dev Diary this week. They do mention in the comments further down that next week's and the week after is going to be a very bulky Dev Diary. Now, it does make me question why this week's isn't that big. Like, I'm pretty sure they could have split Legitimacy separate from Legends and had a smaller Dev Diary about Legitimacy this week, a huge Dev Diary next week about Legends, and then Plagues the week after. I'm kind of surprised. They do even say in that comment that we've only got a short amount of time to launch, so the next 2 Dev Diaries are going to be huge, which again makes me question, well, why isn't this week's just a decent size? I'm not too sure. As you know, I don't like being negative really on this channel, but it did make me kind of laugh that this week's is so short and doesn't really give us anything. And then they even say in the comments like, oh, the next 2 are going to be absolutely huge. It's going to show off the mechanics. It's going to show off the new art. It's going to show off all these cool things. So we have got that to look forward to, I suppose. I'm just a little bit surprised that this week's has basically no information in it really for us. A little bit here and there, but nothing too crazy. So yeah, I'm not going to keep you any longer this week. Next week, we're going to have a 30-minute video or something breaking down Legends and Legitimacy. So I can't wait for that. But on that note, we'll leave it there for today. As always, hit that like button if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new here. I cover Crusader Kings, Dev Diary, I do campaigns. I've just started one in the Elf Destiny mod. If you're interested, I'll leave a link to that in the description down below. But for now, that's it for the video. I'll see you in the next one.